Next is the countdown of the most prominent artists of the 1980s based on the number of weeks they spent at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Let's start with number 10, Phil Collins. Collins quit school at 14. He was uncredited in the Beatles' film A Hard Day's Night. His interest in acting grew, and he played bit parts in movies. He had a starring role in 1967's Calamity the Cow. After a fallout with director David Eastman, he quit acting to pursue his music career. His breakout came when he joined Genesis in 1970. In 1975, Peter Gabriel left the band, and Collins became lead singer. With Collins, the band racked up 10 top 20 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. His solo career began in 1981, simultaneously with Genesis. As a solo artist, he had 16 top 20 hits. Collins left Genesis in 1996 to focus on solo work. This included writing songs for Disney's animated film Tarzan. He wrote and performed the songs Two Worlds, Son of Man, Strangers Like Me, and You'll Be in My Heart, the last of which earned him the Academy Award for Best Original Song. The number 9 artist on this list is Whitney Houston. Houston's professional career began in 1978 when she joined her mother, Cissy Houston's band, as a background singer during Cissy's performances on the cabaret club circuit in New York. In September 1981, following the advice of her cousin Dionne Warwick, Houston signed with Terra Productions. Beginning in 1985, Houston produced 7 studio albums and 3 soundtracks. Her singles included 27 top 20 hits, with 11 reaching number 1. Houston's second album, Whitney, was released in 1987 and became the first album by a female artist to debut at the top of the Billboard 200. It also became the first female album to spend its first 10 weeks at number 1, eventually staying there for 11 consecutive weeks. The number 8 artist on our list is Diana Ross. Ross's career began in 1959 when she joined the all-female trio The Supremes, which became Motown's most significant act. They reached the top 20 18 times, with 12 making it to number 1. They are the most successful American group of all time. In 1970, she branched out as a solo artist and achieved 13 top 20 hits, with 6 reaching number 1. In 1993, Guinness World Records crowned Ross the most successful female artist in music history. In 1971, Diana Ross began working on her first film, Lady Sings the Blues, a loosely based biography of singer Billie Holiday. Despite some criticism of her for taking the role, once the film opened in October 1972, Ross won critical acclaim for her performance in the movie. At number 7 on our list is Olivia Newton-John. She was a 4-time Grammy Award winner whose music career included 21 top 20 singles, including 5 number 1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. At age 14, with 3 classmates, Newton-John formed a short-lived, all-girl group called Soul 4. They formed the duo Pat and Carol, touring nightclubs in Europe along with Pat Carroll. From there, she joined the group Tomorrow. Her solo career began in 1971 with the album If Not For You. In her 1982 Olivia in-concert performance of Dolly Parton's Jolene, Newton-John showcases a down-falling note range covering 3 octaves. In her memoir, Newton-John describes herself as not a power singer but more of an interpretive one. Looking at the top 6 artists on our list, Madonna.
Nothing can stop me from trying. You've got to open your heart to me, baby.
Named the Queen of Pop, she began her career in 1979 as she began a relationship with musician Dan Gilroy of The Breakfast Club. She started as a backup singer for Patrick Hernandez and branched into a career in 1983 with 14 solo albums as of this recording. Beginning with 1983's Holiday, she has racked up an impressive 43 top 20 hits, with 12 making it to number 1. Like a Virgin became her first number 1 single in the US, while Into the Groove was her first number 1 single in the UK. She continued topping the US or UK charts in the 1980s with Live to Tell, Papa Don't Preach, True Blue, Open Your Heart, La Isla Bonita, Who's That Girl, and Like a Prayer. With Cherish peaking at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, Madonna charted the most consecutive top 5 singles by any artist.
I just called to say I love you.
Our number 5 artist is Stevie Wonder. One of the most acclaimed and influential musicians of the 20th century, he is credited as a pioneer and influenced by musicians across various genres, including R&B, pop, soul, gospel, funk, and jazz. Wonder's single Fingertips was a number 1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1963, at 13, making him the youngest solo artist ever to top the chart. Beginning in 1962 with the album The Jazz Soul of Little Stevie, Wonder released 23 studio albums and 3 soundtracks, which gave him 33 top 20 hits, with 7 making it to number 1.
To let me know you made it home. Don't want nothing to be wrong with a part-time lover.
Coming in at number 4 is George Michael, who is a global phenomenon.
Time can never mend the careless whispers.
His record sales, estimated at between 100 million and 125 million, place him among the best-selling musicians ever. He began his career with Andrew Ridgeley in the pop duo Wham!, where they amassed 3 albums and 7 top 10 hits, with 3 reaching number 1. He has an impressive track record of 15 top 20 hits, 10 number 1 songs on the US Billboard Hot 100, and 13 songs on the UK Singles Chart, showcasing his international appeal. While Michael was in his early teens, the family moved to Radlett. There, Michael began attending Bushy Meads School in Bushy, where he met his Yog, sat down next to, and befriended his future Wham partner Andrew Ridgeley. The two had the same career ambition of being musicians. Michael buskied on the London Underground, performing songs such as 39 by Queen. His involvement in the music business began with his working as a DJ, playing at the Bel Air restaurant in Northwood, London.
'Cause I gotta have faith. I gotta have faith. Because I got to have faith. I got to have faith. You think that people would have had enough of silly love songs?
We're up to number 3 on our list. Paul McCartney. One of the most excellent musicians of all time, McCartney began his career on July 6, 1957, at age 15, at the St. Peter's Church Hall Fete in Woolton, where he met John Lennon and his band, the Quarrymen. That seed led to the formation of arguably the greatest rock band of all time, The Beatles. As the Beatles broke up in 1969-70, McCartney fell into a depression. His wife helped him escape that condition by praising his work as a songwriter and convincing him to continue writing and recording. In her honor, he wrote Maybe I'm Amazed. From there, he formed Wings with Denny Lane.
Baby, I'm amazed the way you pulled me out of time. You hung me on the line.
He went solo in 1981 and continues recording to this day. His amazing career from 1962 on includes 88 top 20 hits and 35 reaching number 1.
One said to the second one there, I hope you're having fun. And on the run. All night long. All night. All night long. All night.
Coming in at number 2. Lionel Richie. As a student in Tuskegee, Richie formed a succession of R&B groups in the mid-1960s. In 1968, he became a singer and saxophonist with the Commodores. They signed a recording contract with Atlantic Records in 1968 for one record before moving on to Motown Records, initially as a support act to the Jackson 5. Richie's 1982 debut solo album, Lionel Richie, contained 3 hit singles, the US #1 song Truly, which continued the style of his ballads with the Commodores and launched his career as one of the most successful balladeers of the 1980s. With the Commodores he scored 11 top 20 hits, 2 of which made it to number 1.
Truly in love with you, girl.
After he left the Commodores, he amassed 15 top 20 hits, 5 of which made it to number 1. And now, let's look at the number 1 recording artist of the 1980s, Michael Jackson.
You better disappear. The fire's in their eyes, their words are really clear, so beat it, just beat it.
Dubbed the King of Pop, he is regarded as one of the most significant cultural figures of the 20th century. Over a 4-decade career, his contributions to music, dance, and fashion and his publicized personal life made him a global figure in popular culture. Jackson influenced artists across many music genres. Through stage and video performances, he popularized street dance moves such as the moonwalk, which he named, and the robot. Michael began his career with his brothers Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon as the Jackson 5. They were later dubbed just the Jacksons. They had 18 top 20 hits, with 4 reaching number 1. He made it 38 times to the top 20 as a solo artist, and Michael Jackson has sold over 500 million records worldwide. In the United States, Jackson amassed 13 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 singles, more than any other male artist in the Hot 100 era, and was the first artist to have a top 10 single in the Billboard Hot 100 in 5 different decades. Before we close, I want to stress again that this isn't a list of how many number 1 hits these artists have had, but a list of how many weeks they spent at number 1, making them the biggest selling artists of the 80s. That was our show for today. What did you think? Were you surprised at who made this list? Is there someone you feel should have made the list that didn't? Please let me know what you think in the comments section. As always, I'd be honored if you subscribe to my channel, ring the bell to stay informed, and check out my Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise in the comments section. Until next time, this is Axel for Kevin Given saying, live long and prosper, may the force be with you, and keep reaching for the stars.